Now, if you're not familiar with Japanese people, you might think, great, this chick is into me, she's fucking wild, awesome. Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by for another great episode. Thank you guys, new subscribers, commenters, likers, everyone. I'm appreciating the love, I'm appreciating the feedback. Even the people who've been listening for a while and just took the time to comment. Really appreciate just knowing that you guys are out there. It really does help. It helps with the algorithm. Like I said, it helps with everything. So if you haven't done it already, or if you have done it, it would be nice if you would do it again. Leave a like, leave a comment. Just let me know you're out there. It does feel good to hear from you guys. So, listening's cool. Commenting would be even better. Just saying. Thanks. Yo, hey, what's going on? Episode 166 is a pretty good one. This might be a historic one. Let's not hype it up too much, but it's a pretty good one. I got a fucking mic stand here. You can see what's going on. It's a lot of newness. We're trying to raise the bar for the fucking podcast, right? We talk. I give a lot of links, a dating app recommendation for you guys. Tons, like literally, there are hours of supplemental information in the fucking description. Check it out. Lots of stuff, historical information, some entertaining stuff, documentaries for days. Article that's kind of funny, interesting. You'll hear me get into it. And then the main part of the podcast, the second half, where I really get into some more dating advice. Related to I got to bear in mind it's going to be all Japanese video, but again, the language is not the most important thing. The body language is what we're really focusing on. And just to give you a clue, again, I give my insight, my expert analysis, ESPN Sports Center analysis and post game wrap up of some of these videos, and to kind of give you a heads up on what type of tells, body language, type of people you might encounter when hitting the scene in Japan. So thank me later, or thank me with a fucking comment or something. Okay, enjoy. Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 160. Am I recording? Let me make sure I'm recording. 166 of the podcast. You probably can see from the this is actually my second time starting the episode. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see like my intro, and the position I'm at now is kind of different because I had to. After I started, I realized like my setup was a little bit wrong. I was kind of veered off to the side. So I think this feels a bit more comfortable. I'm going to check it out, afterwards and make sure everything's okay. But, hopefully it's good. It feels good. It feels a bit different, because I've been holding the microphone for like almost a year. And finally I got this little crane thing. Not crane, this fucking microphone holder, so I just gotta get used to it. That's all. You'll probably hear me, audio people, adjusting this thing a bit. I got to just get a feel for it. It's a slightly less bootleg setup, but yeah, it does feel good to actually be able to use both of my hands. I'll be able to like read and drink at the same time because we're drinking white wine. I was thinking about drinking some red, but I changed to white. Also, I changed the microphone color, if you can see, because the last one got a little funky. I was looking at it, it's like, yeah, rainy season. I'm sure you can imagine, like, microphone covers can get kind of filthy after a while. The last one had a long run, but I looked at it, I was like, okay, it's time to go. Luckily, I have another one, and I just ordered a bunch more from Alibaba, so it's not going to be an issue. Tonight, starting a bit later because I had a lot of stuff to sort through, a lot of links I compiled that I wanted to make sure I got sorted so that I know what I'm talking about. I'm not just freestyling everything off the top. Of course, I'm going to be freestyling bullshitting, but, like not completely doing it. At least I kind of know what I'm talking about a bit, or I seem like I do. It's kind of an important thing. Yeah, I turned off the AC because I was like, I was researching doing some audio improvements, especially when summer comes around. I'm probably going to end up having to do it, especially for YouTube people, just because like I turned off the AC because I can deal with it. But when summer rolls around, I'm probably gonna have to turn it on, and I'm guessing like, you hearing the AC blasting on YouTube isn't really the best thing, so I'm probably gonna have to do a little bit more audio and try to raise the bar a little bit. I also got some inspiration for, I'm gonna keep it top secret, a secret project that I want to be working on over the next couple months for people on YouTube and audio people as well, but adding a bit of a different spin on the content that I've been doing. So I got inspired. Dame Dash interview inspired me, even though he was talking about crazy and just kind of fucked up, but he's an interesting character and he's a creative genius in his own right. So I did get a bit of inspiration from that. So I do want to step my game up, try new territories in this audio visual experiment. Let's go with that I've been doing. But yeah, let me see what else. Oh yeah, sorry, my apologies for starting later on in the week. Now I can tell you guys what's been going on. I'm already half drunk this. I poured a lot of wine. I was like, shit, and it's in the fridge, and whatever. I'll figure it out. So like earlier this week, I met up with a friend who I hadn't seen in a long time, or like since way before this situation started, actually. So about a year and a half, just before, I think March 2020, we met up, and he invited me out for sushi. Went to sushi in Shinjuku, really, really nice place, counter sushi place, which was like, I want to say 2, 4, 6, 8, maybe 8 people total at the place. So it was 8 at a time, and it was a course of dinner. So it was some salarymen dudes, older dudes further away, older dude with his younger girlfriend, possibly hostess in Shinjuku, maybe, dude in his like early 50s, seemed maybe like a manager at a company, possibly single, and a girl in her like mid to late 20s. I wasn't making eye contact with her. I didn't make eye contact with her the whole fucking time, just because like, it's a really small place. And I kind of know, if I start looking at this girl, like, I kind of know what, I mean, nothing like a fight's not going to break out, or anything like that, but it's really rude. Like if I drew my attention over to her, I could kind of, I could kind of feel some tension going on between the dude she was accompanying. So I just kind of left, I'm not going to like, holla at her, like, hey ma, like from across the fucking sushi counter or anything like that. So I was just like, let me just be polite and not even, look in that direction. I was kind of curious about their situation, but I could get a feel for the dynamics of it. So I just kind of purposely blocked it out. Next to me, there were some 2 other salarymen dudes, about 40-ish, and me and my friend in the corner. So it was like a U-shaped counter, and we were like all the way in the counter, all the way at the left side, chill, really chill, good quality sushi. Course, of course, we had some beers, had some sake, talked, caught up, about a lot of life stuff, career stuff. He's kind of trying to make his own path. He's a bit further and along his way. He's a bit more of a professional kind of person, but in the medical industry. But no, it was really good to just talk to him and catch up with him, laugh, and joke. And, we hadn't seen each other for like a year and a half, but it was like we just talked last week. So. And talk about our dreams and our goals, and caught up on what we were doing, and it was good because I could kind of give from my experience, as a teacher. I talked to a lot of people in different industries, so some information I had, I could share with him that was actually really beneficial for him, that I knew like, okay, this is valuable information I can give to you just from shit that I know. I can't really get into specific. I can, but I'm not going to get into specifics of what I shared or how I know it or who I know and stuff like that. But I will say, like, me being a private teacher, and some of my past students, I've been able to get some insight into several industries. So. One of those industries are related to kind of what he does, and so I was able to kind of connect some of those dots. And it's like I said, in the medical industry, and he was like, "You know this, and how do you know that?" And I'm like, "Dude, like, like it was interesting to really see that synchronicity take hold, and it felt really good as well. So that was fun, and it had a blast. And we agreed to like link up, online and face to face a bit more. So then after that, I was a little bit buzzed up, and I was like, I'm not ready to go home yet. So, so on my way back, I passed through Shibuya again. I tried to go to some spots. If you check my Instagram, you'll see one picture I posted. I was able to find like a hidden place that I like to go to. And just before they had last call, I just ordered like 2 drinks, and it was like, yo, just bring them to me back to back. Thinking, and I had a few drinks, and it was cool, and then just worked my way home and woke up in the middle of the night, extremely drunk. Because then I realized I was messaging Jeff. I realized, like, in my mind, like, I don't really drink that much anymore, but in my mind, when I start drinking, I think like my gear gets going, like I'm like back, out on the town like I used to be. And so I was like, I didn't really drink that much. I had like 2 beers in the sushi. I think we had like 3 glasses, not even big glasses, like small glasses of sake, because it's kind of high quality, different types of sake. We did some sake tasting with our food. Then when I went to Shibuya, I had one IPA might have done it, an IPA and a mojito, and that was about it, on my way back. I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot to me, but, I woke up in the middle of the night fucking hurting, for a little while, and, I mean, I didn't throw up, luckily, but it was like borderline. But, luckily I was off work the next day, so I was fine. But yeah, it was a really great night, and yeah, that was that. And then the next day I got inspiration, and that's where this little crane thing is coming from. So yeah, I'm starting a little bit later than I wanted to start earlier, but luckily I was able to close some of my morning lessons, so I'm working a little bit later. But oh yeah, back to the week. So that's kind of why like I'm recording this so late. Also, I was doing a lot of research. I got some shit for you guys tonight. I'm not gonna lie, like the main thing that I wanted to do, this is gonna be kind of like a 2-episode ordeal. Not ordeal, but like thingamajig. I'll just call it a 2-episode thingamajig that I'm doing. Because the original video we're doing more dating stuff, but the original video I wanted to break down, like it was just late in the night, and I found some other stuff, so I'm just gonna do the other stuff first, and then the main one that I first got, I'm gonna save for the next episode. I think that one's a lot juicier, you'll find out why. I'll just save it for episode 167, but that's gonna be nice. Don't worry, again, I'm gonna put there's lots of links. I'm going to put pictures for YouTube people, for you to kind of see who I'm talking about and things like that. It should be good. It should be good. But before that, if you haven't, let me again go through the links, because I got a wide variety of links. I'm really impressed with the links that I've compiled. I got so much shit to talk about. Okay, so first thing, if you check the links again, I'm not really gonna do. I should probably order this. Nah, fuck it. I'm not gonna do it in order. Okay, you guys sort through it, because if when I'm recording, I start copying and pasting shit, I'm gonna delete something by accident. So I'll try to remember sorting it out, but just in general, you'll see what you'll see in the description section. Lots of documentaries, lots of Japanese documentaries. I probably got easily 4 or 5 hours of Japanese documentaries for you guys, and I think they're all interesting in different ways. First thing, like there's one about the history of ancient Japan, just like 2.5 hours, 2-3 hours samurai thing, like History Channel type thing that popped up. It might be a little bit dry for my experience, for me, but, if you're into that type of shit, like, I'm kind of over that type of documentary, but, just throw it in there. Then, interesting 2-part kind of connected one about post-war Japan, and this is, I think, a period in Japanese history that really gets overlooked quite a bit by Western media. We kind of tend to focus on really traditional and really modern Japan, samurai era, futuristic Tokyo are kind of the two sides, but post-war Japan is such a really, really important time, that in here, like, really gets talked about quite a bit. But, understanding the story of from World War II to like the 80s, 90s, and current today really helps you lay the groundwork for understanding like modern Japanese society. And it's something that you don't really get, put onto from the beginning. So in my timeline popped up, there's two really connected ones. One is about, post-war Japan up to, I think, the peak of the bubble economy in the 80s. And then the other one is the lost decade, the past 30 years, where the Japanese economy has been quite stagnant. I don't 100% agree with everything in these documentaries because these are clearly made by people who've done research about Japan and they don't necessarily live in Japan. So the analysis, I forgot which one, on one of the, I think the modern one, the more recent one, I kind of disagree with some of his analysis of Japan in that, because it's from an outsider's perspective. But the information, the historical events and things like that, I think I went through it very quickly, is very much spot on, and it's just general information that I think will be helpful for you understanding like the flow of events that happened. Like I said, from the conclusion of World War II up until today, right? There's also another interesting one that just popped up randomly. I think it's like Teenage Killers or something like that, about juvenile delinquents. And specifically Kid Teen, Bosozoku, motorcycle gang members, and some of the wild shit that happened. And this was a big problem in the 80s in Japan, 70s and 80s in Japan. While the economy was booming in some sides, other areas where disenfranchised youth just went fucking wild, basically. And they were just beating shit out of each other, killing each other. Like, it was real Akira type shit, so check out some of those stories. I didn't watch the whole thing just because it was a bit too dark for me, but some of y'all gonna like it. I think it's interesting content just to give you a bit of a contrast on what's going on. And if you also watched that Yakuza movie, what was it called? I think Yakuza and Family, some shit, that I reviewed, I think a few months ago, that also can give you a bit of context about how those kind of things can happen and how people can kind of fall into the criminal underworld. Fuck, I feel like a real fucking radio show host with this fucking mic. I'm actually starting to get kind of comfortable with it. It's really nice to be able to, like, got my laptop right here, got this shit. I got two hands now. This is actually really nice. I'm not gonna lie. Now that I'm getting comfortable with it, I'm very much happy. Like, I adjusted, I realized it needs to be exactly in line with the camera. Then I can kind of do a lot of different stuff. So I'm quite happy with this. Again, so this will be, you'll see some of the other content that I have planned, and this kind of setup is going to be really, really integral in that. When I get to that, maybe hopefully in a month or two, I want to start really working. I'm just laying the groundwork and doing a bit of organizational stuff for that now. But it's going to be interesting. I got some good shit for you guys, and hopefully that will also help bring new listeners or new watchers into the YouTube channel, and of course the audio. So that's the documentaries. Oh yeah, there's another thing about, what is it? Words don't use this in Japan when Japanese girls and boys get furious. Yeah, this this is, again, I think Ask Japanese really, I'm really starting to co-sign this YouTube channel. I like the stuff that they put out. It's about words that Japanese people use when they're angry, and especially in relationships. The reason why I put this in here is not for you to learn it or to copy it or to like a fruit fly or something buzzing around here. There's a banana in there, in the kitchen. But it's not like, I don't want you to use these words at all. Like, don't be a fucking idiot. Okay, don't just, if you're studying Japanese, don't memorize these words and try to use them, because they're extremely rude, in some cases fighting words. The reason why I want you to learn these words, right, especially if you're for me, especially from my experience, if you're in a relationship or you're, want to be in a relationship with a Japanese person, being familiar with some of these words are things that you need to learn to understand when you're pissing your partner off, right? And it took me a while as well to be familiar with some of these words when I got to, because let me tell you, if you're in a relationship with a Japanese partner, that, and your core language is English, generally speaking, especially, I'm just gonna talk guys. You're dating a Japanese girl, right? Generally speaking, she's in the beginning. She's not gonna, probably more than likely, she's gonna hesitate to get angry with you, even when she's pissed off at you. So she's gonna put on like a happy face with everything, and it's gonna be difficult for you to tell when you're pissing her off. But as the relationship progresses, naturally we put down like our initial kind of happy face, and we show who we really are as people. And you're gonna hear, even if you guys communicate 100% in Japanese, under her breath sometimes, or if you can't speak any Japanese at all, or sometimes you're gonna hear her mutter some Japanese words, and is gonna be, and you need to understand, like, what the context of those words are, even if you don't, like, of course you don't need to be writing them down in like your notepad and like checking it and shit, but like, just being aware of those words and just like knowing, like, oh, I've heard that before, will let you know. Because sometimes, like, my wife as well, like when we were dating, it's been some, she's like, hey, and then she's just kind of like, like, okay, fine, but or, something like that. And again, if you're not so schooled on Japanese culture or mannerisms or whatever, you might not pick up on that frustration by your partner. But if you pick up on a word or something like that, you might understand that they're upset. So it's just a bit of insight to give you a bit more of a leg up when dating Japanese people. Again, it's not something I want you to learn. It's not something I want you to say. Don't fucking say this shit to Japanese people. I'm just telling you right now. You might think it sounds cool. You might think it's something like, yeah, Akil's telling me that, but whatever, it's no big. No, don't do it. You're the biggest fucking asshole in the world if you're using these type of language. I'm just telling you. Like, this is type of things, like, because you don't know the nuance, you don't know, like, what's the appropriate time or relationship with the person to use it. And you might think of the translation might not be so heavy, but it's a lot heavier in Japanese, a lot more serious in Japanese. So I can't warn you enough. Listen to it, understand, maybe familiarize yourself with them, but don't concentrate on these, especially if you're learning Japanese. Just be aware of them and keep your ear open if your partner is frustrated sometime or something like that, and you'll be able to kind of pick up on what's going on a bit better. Okay. What else? Speaking of partners, you remember previously, I think an episode or two ago, I was talking about Tinder in Japan. And the idea kept it in my head, and so I was looking around doing some research for this episode, and I saw some people talking about dating apps, and I went down the rabbit hole. I don't even think I should be telling you guys this, but whatever. So, I was looking at Japanese apps, dating apps, and so I found one that is apparently the go-to app for meeting people, for Japanese people go to. And I signed up for it. I signed up for it for like about 45 minutes, I'm not gonna lie. And I got scared and deleted it. But I didn't match with anybody. I didn't do it. I just took a quick picture and I just wanted to see, so I just wanted to swipe. I just want to fucking swipe. I'm sorry. Just fucking blame me. I just wanted to swipe once in my life. God damn it. I just wanted to swipe. And I didn't swipe right. I swiped left for everything. But I just wanted to see what the profiles were. I wanted to get a feel for what it was like, the technology, and what type of people were on there. I was just curious. And so, I'll tell you, for one, if you're looking for like a casual relationship and you're over 30, like the app it's an app called Tapple, Tapple. I'll put a link to the app for Japan probably in the profile. So if you are living in Japan currently, I'll put it there. I would say if you can, my first impression, don't think, yeah, cute, fuck yeah, thank you. Relax, okay? This app, from my impression, is something that you will need high-level Japanese skill to use, right? Just look, this is for native Japanese people. It's not really an international thing. International thing, my guess would be Tinder might be the place for you, but this is for Japanese people. So like, if you have, like, I would say not N3, I would say around N2 level Japanese skill, you can write in kanji, your grammar is on point, you actually have had back and forth conversations via email with Japanese people, then give it a shot, but if you're just like coming to Japan, like fuck it, throwing out Hail Marys, and you might want to stick to Tinder if you're in that, matchmaking date app game, which I'm not. I just wanted to see what it was like for a little while. Unfortunately, I gave my real age, so like all the chicks like that they showed me were like over 30, between 30 and 40 something, and clearly they're all wanting this app. Like anyone over 30 wants to fucking get married. Like I can tell from their profile or just from their picture, 100%. That's just what, like, it's clear. Like, so just a warning for you, if you are 30 plus and you do have the Japanese skill, these women, they're not looking to like hang out. They're looking to get fucking married. So if you have your shit together and you can, read and speak Japanese, at a proficient level, hey, go for it. If you can't, or just get your game up if you're in your early to mid 20s. I couldn't really, after signing up, I was like, fuck, man, I just want to see what the 20-year-olds are doing, the 20-somethings are doing, but I couldn't really do that because, there's all these, like, people want to get married, shit, like, whatever. That's kind of boring after a while. But yeah, so if you're in your 20s, I would say you get your Japanese game up, then you might be able to roll the dice and see what it's like. But just know what you're stepping into. So that's that. I got one more thing, and then we'll get into the main event. Let me see. Yeah, this is gonna be a pretty. Oh, fuck, this is gonna be a pretty meaty episode. So, and after this, I'll take a break and refill my wine. So like, I stumbled upon this weird article, and it was about about a guy, I think. Yeah, it was a few days ago I read it, but it's in the description. So a guy, he near Shibuya Station, and he I think he took a picture of a girl's skirt walking up the stairs or something like that, and the police were called. And so the police questioned him, and so he ran from the police, apparently. And he went to like a catwalk near a really famous intersection, your scramble intersection, Shibuya. He tried to get away, and it's like this trailway overpass. And so the police are coming, he's trying to get away, so he jumped off of this fucking train overpass and onto the street and fucked himself up quite a bit. And so I was reading it, and I was like, you're a fucking asshole. And then, like, I scrolled down into the comment section, and actually there was a video of it as well. So I normally don't like to post this kind of stuff, but I also posted the video because it goes with the story. So you can, check the description and see the video and that. And it made me laugh as well because it's right in front of Scramble, which is like he plummeted to his demise right in front of a bar I used to go to back in the day. Like, if you look, like, the blue neon sign of that place, it's like right at Shibuya Crossing, right in front of Shibuya Crossing. When you walk out from the Yamanote line, when you walk in front of the Yamanote line, it's kind of several different streets, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 possible choices. No, more than that, maybe 6, 5 or 6 possible choices of where to go. And walking out generally, 12 o'clock is going to be, your bars and restaurants, probably where the main action in Shibuya is. 10 o'clock is going to be Ichimaru building. 2 o'clock is going to be the McDonald's going towards Tower Records in the Omotesando. And what is that? We're going to be like about 5 o'clock is going to be going up the hill more towards like the Hikare building and stuff like that. So he was at like 5 o'clock, and that's where the Scramble is. And so I spent my time there, but I was just like, oh, there's Scramble's there. Like, he felt like he fucked himself up. But it's just funny to me. Well, like, because I felt kind of, I was like, yeah, the bar was empty, but yeah, he really fucked himself up. And he's an idiot, and he's a salary man, and so he's probably company employee from the dress. They blurred out his face, but he's probably a company employee. He's probably gonna get fired, lose his job, and go to jail and shit like that. So yeah, he's a fucking idiot, basically. Pretty much. But it was kind of entertaining to read and then also watch what happened. So I'll leave it up to you if you're into that type of shit. But yeah. So give me a second. Let me refill my wine, and then we'll get into a couple of videos that I have, and I'll get the fuck out of here. So just give me a second. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. I plopped myself down and almost completely spilled all of my wine. Almost completely spilled everything all over the tatami, but it was safe. No harm, no foul. Okay, so here's how we're gonna do this, right? What I did, because since we're going down the dating path, the rabbit hole of dating, and my top secret video for the next episode, which I'm not gonna share with you guys, maybe go do a little digging, and for videos that really illustrate body language types of people. The feedback I got from the I think it was Japan Ultra, from, I forgot, the Tokyo Bros. I don't even know what gesture I was trying to do. Tokyo Bros, like bros, that's what I was trying to do. Tokyo Bros. Video. So you gotta give the people what they want. So what I did was I found 2 Gokon videos, and they're interesting in a few different ways, because first off, this is all in Japanese, right? And again, I encourage you, if you're listening on audio, take the time, just mark around the time. If you're listening to audio, mark around the time that you've been listening, and go ahead and jump to YouTube so you can see a few screenshots of the people that I'm talking about, if you are so inclined. But yeah, pretty much, I'm not going to go in depth too much into the content of the video, right? And I don't really expect you to pick up on the Japanese, because the Japanese is quite casual, quite competent, quite native and rapid fire. But I'm going to mainly talk about the type of people and the general setup of the situation, and I'll leave it up to you just to, get what you can from it. But just keep in mind that all of these videos are in 100% Japanese. These are for native Japanese people. There are no subtitles. So don't focus so much on the language, but focus on the body language, the situation, the type of people, and things like that. I say it's kind of going to be much more useful for you guys, and something that I wish I had when I was coming here, which is why I'm sharing it with you guys. Okay, so the first one is, it's a drunk Gokon. And what this is, again, I'm just going to use the word Gokon instead of matchmaking party, because it's a lot more natural to me to say it that way. But what this one is like, basically they were trying to see, I think it's like a YouTube show for like women's show or something. Some of the people, the hostesses are the hosts of the show are kind of famous, or B-level, comedians and or actresses. And like, pillow behind my back. Hold on. Okay. Give a little, lumbar support going on, lower lumbar support going on. Okay. So yeah. So like, I'm really feeling this mic stand, but I can't get too comfortable, because I'll just because it's connected to my computer desk, and like if I move this thing too far forward, my computer and my wine will just go flying all over the place. But I'm trying to find the best equilibrium for this. Okay, but anyway, so yeah, so what they did was they invited 2 people, three women and 3 guys, for a Gokon, and see what happens if they get drunk. Can they find love? It's kind of like the situation, but whatever. It's just a fucking cheap way to pump out content for them. I took I'll put probably a screenshot of you 2 people right here, and you'll see the lineup of the 3 women. Generally speaking, from left to right, my assessment of them, the one on the left is fucking crazy, batshit fucking crazy. Stay the fuck away from her. If you see anyone, like, look at her body language. Okay, so when oh fuck, I just jumped right into this. Okay. If you look at her body language through the course of like the Gokon, she's very erratic and, gets quite sauced up and, very animated and things like that. Now, if you're not familiar with Japanese people, you might think, great, this chick is into me. She's fucking wild. Awesome. And she, even if she doesn't really have, I've met women like this out and about, and even some of them have English skills, some of them don't. They're not the annoying type of animated women that I kind of talked about in the previous one. They're more of like the crazy type where they'll more openly show that they like you, style that Western women might do is of course is very Japanese, but overtly trying to be sexy or trying to say or do things to get your attention, things like that. But don't fall for it. These women are fucking batshit crazy because, like, generally speaking, like, for a Japanese woman to act like that in a type of way, of course she's drunk, of course, but, and I've only seen women do this when they are drunk. I haven't seen someone do this, like, if someone does this when they're sober, I say they're fucking mental patient and just run. But, like, generally speaking, it comes in a very erratic kind of way because culturally speaking, Japanese people generally don't act like that. So for someone to show that type of emotion, it's really they're blurting out, uncontrollably their attraction to you. And it means that they don't really have any control over their impulses, is how I take it as. So a woman like that specifically, you don't want to date someone like that because their drunk side, they might be crazy, they might be fun, you might want to sleep with you, but if you get into a long-term relationship with someone like that, it will become extremely problematic. Marriage, dating, long-term, things like that. Like, that's the type of person who will switch and flip on you and do some vindictive ass shit, and make your life a living hell. It's kind of what I see her as, like, as a foreign person here. Like, a person like that has a really, really mean streak in that you really don't want to see being a non-Japanese person in Japan. So just the way she talks, that is definitely a type, right? Though, and I would say even like if you are dating someone, and who does drink, get her fucking drunk and watch how she acts. And if you see those type of mannerisms, that type of body language, even if she's fucking sweet in the beginning, she's probably not putting on a front, but she's putting on a nice face for you. And behind the scenes, you might not have picked up on it. There's a lot going on there. And fucking run. I'm just telling you, fucking run. Like, you don't want no parts of that at all. Hopefully I saved some of you guys a lot of heartache with that. The one in the middle, she's my note, the 20-year-old. The one on the left is 29 from my memory. The one in the middle is 20. She's extremely calculating, but she's not really like. She doesn't have any redeeming qualities. For me personally, again, none of these women are my type at all. But especially the 20-year-old one, she kind of has the cute, bubbly personality that some Japanese men really fall for. But for me, looks wise and just attitudes wise, that's kind of really annoying for me. And there have been, there have been people who do have that type of personality who I do like, not like romantically, but I get along well with, and who I would consider attractive to me. But the way she dresses and her hairstyle and all that stuff combined with that are red flags for me. Like, just my type personally. Like, I think I've told you before, should I even say this again? But okay, whatever. It's my personal rule, but if you live in Japan, you'll know what I'm saying. Any girl, any woman, and this probably applies for women in their 20s, and I don't think women in their 30s really do that. Any woman in her 20s, I'll just say any woman who wears a white winter coat, a white coat in winter, is not my type at all. At all. Instant turn off. If I see you wear a white coat in the wintertime, it's an instant turn. Of course, it's a white coat and a skirt. It's got to be. Like, that's just, you're not going to wear a white coat and pants. It might sound kind of like weird, but again, there's certain tells, with people. And white coat in the wintertime is one tell for me of a person who fits into a category kind of like this girl. And she's very calculating and, tries to show herself as cute to get attention from guys. And, the way she giggles and the way she laughs, but she doesn't really have any redeeming qualities or interesting personality on her own. She's not really as smart on her own, but, all she has is her cuteness that she projects onto guys to get male attention. And, that's kind of her, to try to find a partner that she can be kind of a rest haven, find a rest haven for, and get the type of quality of life that she thinks that she thinks that she deserves. And of course, she's, 20 years old, so she's at like her peak cuteness. So she thinks like the kind of guys of the world are kind of at her feet, even though, she projects herself as being kind of this humble, cute, submissive type person. But really in the back of her mind, like she's kind of like calculating every fucking move, every fucking step. And it's just fucking annoying. And, I don't really, for me personally, again, you might like this type of shit, but for me, that's the type of woman body language outfit. I think I saw her outfit during the Gokon, and afterwards they interviewed her in like a playground or something the next day, and I think she was wearing a white coat, and I was like, okay, yep, there it is. That's the final straw. That's exactly why I am completely disinterested in her. The one on the right, my image of her is she's shy and oblivious. She's into guys and she's nice. I mean, personality wise, I say that she would be more of, the type of person that kind of is interested in guys and might be interested in you, but has no idea what to do or has no idea how to get male attention effectively. And especially when she might not have much experience with foreign guys, but might be curious about foreign guys. For example, not specifically her, but that personality type, her body language, is the type of, like, if I were out and I saw someone like that, my first impression would be they don't really have much experience dating foreign guys, but they're curious about foreign guys. And, if you make that person feel comfortable, and you can have a superficial relationship, I think, with a person like that, because they would probably be curious about, I think she's 25, so about 25, she's not really 100% marriage minded yet. She's not like, if you're not like a life partner, you're scratched off the list type person, but she, for a light few months fling kind of thing, she would be kind of like a okay kind of partner person, but nothing really deep, superficial or long term. Generally speaking, again, that type of person is kind of boring to me, just because like you can't really connect with them, because she's kind of oblivious, so she doesn't really have much of a preference in her life at all. So it might be tough, to kind of connect with a person like that, because she's kind of like, oh, what do you want to do? Kind of, oh, okay, he kind of person. You go in for a move, she kind of curls up into a little ball, or, not because she's not interested, just because like it's a completely foreign situation. Remember, watching this, an interesting thing important thing to understand about Japanese people is that, generally speaking, when Japanese people are in an unfamiliar situation, they kind of shy away from an unfamiliar situation. They curl up, go within, right? They shy away from the unfamiliar. Is kind of something to really remember and understand, especially if you're in the dating world. So if you, especially in public, or you maybe even private, you make a move on a woman or a girl or something like that, and she seems completely unreceptive to it, it's not necessarily because she's disinterested, but it might be because, it's embarrassing or shy, or she doesn't know how to act, and it might just curl up within. The opposite might be, you might be coming on too strong and she's scared or intimidated. Like I remember, one of the first like times I was with my wife, I remember this, like it was kind of quite surprising to me as well, because I think me and my wife had already been intimate, at this point a few times, and we were chilling, and like we were by ourselves somewhere, I think, at her place, and watching TV or something, and like I kind of was like, something like that. And she was like, oh, kawaii. She was like, you're scary. And she was like, I was like, what are you talking about? She was like, yo, your face changed. Like, it was really, scary, like really scary. I'd never seen your face like that. And I was like, I was just playing around. I was like, really, like, what the fuck are you talking about? but it kind of but that event really stuck in my mind. I realized, like, oh, I really have to have a soft hand with her, a lot softer than, we were like 20, we were still 22, 23, we were about 22, 23 at that point. But again, subtract 3 to 5 years, like he's like an 18-year-old, like a 17-year-old, pretty much, so a situation where, in the West is like, yo, come on, man, you know what time it is, let's come on, man, but that energy, which isn't super aggressive in the West, might be intimidating for this type of girl. And my wife isn't even this type, at all, but it just goes to show, like, the impression that you get of a woman, of a girl here in the West, the equivalent doesn't really work out. And generally a softer hand is going to be necessary, not necessarily just to get in her pants, but just to make her feel comfortable and just to communicate effectively with her is a really important thing to remember. And just watching the body language of these 3 situations, I think, is something that will really be helpful for you. The second one, I labeled it the Dry Girls Gokon. So these are Saba Saba Joshi, and I had to kind of do a little digging research. But these are not only dry, but kind of straightforward deadpan. It's kind of straightforward deadpan. Like, they don't really not pulling punches like an aggressive way, but they're kind of Popeye type girls. I am who I am. Like, I don't really, what's the word? Put on airs, or not really. They're the complete opposite of calculating. They're completely uncalculating. They're just, what you eat, what you get is what you see. They'll say their mind, their kind of thing. And so from my breakdown of these 3, I forgot their ages off the top of my head, but the one on the left, again, I'll put a picture of all 3 of them. The one on the left seems oblivious to me. The one in the middle, just from her looks, she's kind of the most attractive to me. She's funky, calculating weirdo. And what I mean is some of the things that she does in the Gokon, it's kind of like semi-calculating her semi-game, but it comes across kind of weird. But she's nice, and she's kind of like, doesn't really have any bad intentions, but she doesn't really know how to get male attention very well. So she kind of does her thing, but also tries to appeal herself to men. So she's really quirky in some of the shit that she does. I feel like someone like this would make a good girlfriend, for certain types of guys, but you gotta peel through several layers, to get there. And you got to deal with some shit that might not be the most smooth. And a girl or woman like this might not be the best person to introduce you into Japanese society. She might lead you astray, or might not be able to, guide you through the nuances of Japanese society, because, as you can see, she herself is quirky for Japanese people. So she won't be able to, explain to you the nuances of the social graces in Japan. She'd be like, yeah, no, I just do it this way, and you guys will just be like the weird ass fucking couple, which is fine if it's fine with you. But in certain situations, it can be kind of problematic. The one on the right is, I think that, Jesus, my evaluations, I forgot what I wrote. She's the type to date younger guys, and she's oblivious, and she's kind of over the hill. Fuck, that sounds so mean, but I think, yeah, because she's the oldest. She's 31, and so her personality type, from what I've seen, feels like the type of one who still goes out, still has fun, but generally speaking, gets scooped up or a younger guy scoops up because she has who might be new to Japan. She looks good, and she looks kind of younger. Even though she's 31, a guy in his early to mid 20s might start dating her. And I've seen this happen so many times because she looks young and she looks good for her age. I mean, of course, 31 is like young. I'm fucking 39 right now, so you know what I'm saying. But, generally speaking, like when you first come to Japan, you're not really able to judge a woman's age so well, and especially because Japanese women, age quite gracefully up to a certain point. So you're not able to judge, like coming to Japan, like I've done it too. You might look at her and think like, oh, she's like 26, but really she's like 32. You're like 24. You don't find out, and you're like, oh shit, really? You don't find out until later. So, but also she's kind of oblivious. So, by that I mean like, she doesn't really. She's not like the smartest, the fastest horse in the race, if you know what I mean. I mean, not in a negative way. I mean, it just means she doesn't really think too deeply into things, so she's just going along with everything that's in the situation, and so she's kind of over the over the hill seems pretty harsh, but what I mean is, she seems like someone who in the past was similar to the 20-year-old from the previous video, and who got along, but less calculating, but who got along on her cuteness, just being there, and having guys' male attention. But that type of person, as you get older, that shit doesn't work as much anymore because there's always a younger, cuter version of you. So as women age, generally speaking, their intelligence, the way, their wit, their social graces are more appealing characteristics versus just sitting there looking cute and giggling, but as you can see, she's kind of still stuck in that mode. That's why I say she's really over the hill. But for like a equally oblivious foreign guy who's just come into Japan, sees someone who's giggling, smiling, looking at them, clearly open and and receptive, won't say no to any of their advances. Hey, I'm in there. But really, in actuality, what happened is she has trapped you. And that I've seen that happen time and time again. And me and my friends, we go out, Jeff and Will, we just kind of look at each other and laugh because you're like, oh, she got one. You can kind of see a lot of times the older women with the younger guy who can't speak any Japanese, doesn't know anything about Japanese people, and she's just sitting there next to him, like he looking around. And like, there have been times where like, I talk to that person, or we kind of talk to her, and she's kind of like shit because she's used to dealing with foreign guys. Of course, that person's circle would be a similar group of people, but dealing with like a guy who's been in Japan for a while, can speak the language, understands Japanese culture, has certain expectations of a woman, that type of girl is kind of out of her league quite a bit, and she doesn't really know how to handle, because there's a lot of different conflicting dynamics, in her mind. Foreign guys are this type of way, but wait, shit, like you're kind of like a Japanese guy. Oh fuck! So they're always kind of entertaining to talk to when I go out and things like that. And of course, the foreign guy doesn't know what the fuck is going on because he can't speak any Japanese. So like he's like, "Hey, this is my girlfriend," and like I start talking to her, and I'm just like, "Okay, dude." That's kind of fun sometimes, but whatever, but generally speaking, if I had to choose, the one in the middle, the calculating funky weirdo would probably be the one I'll go with, just because her looks, and I kind of like funky weirdos. Even if you're a funky, again, this is me, I'm not saying this is what you go for, but generally in my experience, like even if a woman is a funky weirdo, she's kind of generally receptive and more open-minded, and so if you are, if you kind of know your shit a little bit, you can, and you can kind of be the man in the relationship, you can function together, I think, and you're not constantly trying to pull shit out of her. She'll give you something. It will be weird stuff sometimes. It'll be fun, quirky stuff, but it's good, and sometimes entertaining. And depending on your personality, it might be a good fit for you. So, the reason why I'm showing you these, again, I'm gonna wrap up the episode. I just want you to just focus on the body language. Focus on their mannerisms. Some of the things. Remember, generally speaking, Japanese women are a lot more calculating than Western women are, so there are a lot of tells in the things that they do. Like, all of the things that they do in this video are very much calculated to different levels and different degrees, right? And again, Japanese women don't really so much, broadcast their feelings. They don't broadcast their sexiness or broadcast their femininity. They just are. Except for the fucking crazy one in the first video. She can't just help herself. That's why I say she's fucking batshit crazy. But if you notice, really, if you're not familiar with Japanese women, they're just kind of being there and, and being in the situation and responding to things that happen in the situation. If nothing happens at all, they would do absolutely nothing. They would just sit there and giggle for like 20 minutes. Generally speaking, the majority of the women there. The crazy one, she would fucking start yelling and doing some weird shit. But and the calculating kind of funky weirdo might do something, but nothing kind of crazy. And that's something you need to understand, and it's something that took me a while to understand as well. That in my first couple of dates and things like that, I didn't know that at all. But you need to understand, it's not that you were doing anything wrong. Well, it might be you're doing something wrong, but you don't need to push the pace, or anything like that. You need to be comfortable with silence, comfortable with, just nothingness sometimes, It might seem superficial, but there's a lot going on beneath the surface that you're just not picking up on. That's just, like, there's a lot going on in these videos that I'm just not going to get into now, but you just might not be able to pick up on. And that's just, if you understand that, you'll be fine. And I don't recommend copying what these guys do in these. Again, I could break down a lot more stuff, but I'm just not going to. I don't recommend copying what these guys do, and just be yourself. The first Gokon for me is annoying as fuck. Like, just what they do, I can't even get into it. Like, it's just like, I would leave a Gokon like that. I mean, maybe if I was like super, super, super drunk in my like 20s, early mid 20s, I've been there. And, I've just been saying wild shit and going all crazy. But like my age right now, I could not handle the first one. The second one, I might entertain myself by talking with them. But I mean, I sound super condescending by saying this, but I'm sorry, it's just true. Okay, whatever. So let me stop you right there. I'm proud of myself. I'm just gonna tell you that I'm really fucking proud of myself by all the links and all the stuff that I've compiled. And don't expect this shit every episode. I'm just telling you that. Don't expect this shit all the time. Okay, this is a special one, and the next one is gonna be even juicier. The video content is going to be even juicier, and I'll try, whatever comes up on YouTube's algorithm. Hopefully I'll have some good stuff that I can curate for you guys over the next week or so, maybe even a little bit more depending on my work schedule and my other activities. But again, sorry for the delay. I wanted to make this one right, and again, I was fucking hungover as fuck the past few days, so so whatever. All right, you got a lot of stuff to do. I'm going to leave it right there, and I'll holler at you next time. Peace.